Getting underway. Keith and Jules talk us through it.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Neil. This could be the last dry session of the day if the weather forecast is looking right. It's gone a little dull overhead between he and Marquez. There's no other Ducati that's on the kind of pace that the... what happened in Phillip Island was a disaster for Ducati, just as they were to the shoulder of Marquez effectively. Yep. Dovi was doing... ran the hard this morning, didn't he? Again, I know it's a lot warmer now, but he's putting mileage on a hard to see probably what if this is, because this is the time of day that we've got the race.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's
nearest,
early.
The nearest we're going to be to it anyway.
Yeah, 13:35. So the race tomorrow will Gary Thorne.
I dread to think what he's dressed up as.
Colin Edwards down on the ranch with a gun in his hand on Halloween.
Yeehaw!
Only Colin. We miss you.
He'll be back for Valencia, though, won't he?
He will. So, scheduled to be back on...
At Valencia, yeah.
Valencia, yeah.
Operated on his left hand.
Tried not to, though.
Yeah, but realised it was hurting far too much to try and ride here, so nipped home to Barcelona.
Let's have a little look at some of the times. The only man that's been in the 50... Unreal. Even twisted his knee slide around the back. Davide Todozzi.
Apologies to Italian lip readers there, I think.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I'm told Todozzi actually said phenomenal. I'll have a look at that one when he brings it back. While we won magnificently from pole position that weekend.
Yeah, it was a travesty, wasn't it?
Yeah, no one saw which way Danny went that weekend. Nobody remembers.
Crutchlow on top, 2:01. Dovi now on top.
With a soft rear in that Ducati.
Yeah, soft rear is certainly got to be a crash, but then he didn't fall in the natural place where most riders will have already gone down. And then when the knee slider bent round the back of his knee, as he put so much pressure through his right leg to try and pick the thing up, and the front...
But that was...
when Marc Marquez says that was a good save, then Loris Baz must be quite proud. Unreal. Unreal. I thought, when it came back into slow-mo replay, I thought, that time that Dovi stuck was pretty
a 2-minute flat .9. That's a second slower than Rossi's best time of the weekend in FP3.
Here is Lorenzo with the wings. Dovi doesn't have.
Soft rear in as well. That is, is that what it's worth, you ask yourself? As Marquez just nips around the outside of his teammate.
They're cruising.
They are.
Nicolas Goubert on the right.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that's, like I say, a test they weren't expecting. How far can you scrub a Michelin?
I have no idea.
Well, let me put it this way. He'll be looking them up. Because they will have been strained.
Or the physio is in the clinic at the moment going, I'll be working on these shortly.
Sort of that split the difference.
Absolutely. The answer would appear to be about 150 yards.
Oh, it was turn one, so probably not that far. But are we going to see it from the other side? Here we go. He's following Bautista in. Wait for it to fold. Oh, unbelievable.
For second in the wet.
Winner here last year, got form, knows that all he can do is take 25 points and hope that he gets some help from somewhere else. Not necessarily Ducati men. 2 minutes .8 now he's just pulled off. So Dovi goes a little faster again. Medium front, soft rear.
To that slide. Wouldn't most people have said, that's it, and let go of the handlebars, get out of this?
Well, you hang on. I mean, we've all had front end slides that go on for a bit, but his are in any other terms, with any other rider generally, unsavable. I mean, that wasn't a little bit tucked under for that it pinged his knee slider round the back. It twisted his whole leathers, because you can't ping a knee slider around the back. You've got to turn
take the rest of the leather with it.
Took all the leathers right away round the back of his leg. He's lucky he didn't twist his knee off.
I'm grateful to Ian Leonard on Twitter for summing it up best. Not a bad analysis, Ian.
I'll tell you what, even Mark is sweating as well. You get that. You get a bit of heat. We talked about heat soak in the motorcycle department, about how the bikes reach a certain temperature and you just can't seem to dissipate it. Same thing for your body. You imagine what I ever did was 40 degrees at Imola in Italy, and afterwards I stood under a cold... In those days you had showers in the pit boxes, and I stood under a cold shower for about half an hour with my leathers on. I couldn't get my leathers 4 left.
This is not timed in any way. This is really an extended race warm-up. And Danny Pedrosa is getting hotter and hotter in a good way.
Yeah, he really is.
With the hard rear tyre.
He's had a win this year already.
Perez.
He's looking for another one.
Yeah.
That's all we can say. You know, Lorenzo's on his own programme to make progress from his side of the garage. I don't think he's going to interfere with the outcome of the World Championship this year, and that's that. It's all going to be about, as it should be, Dobby versus Marquez for the championship.
Try and win it, full stop, end of.
And I don't think it's in his later makeup to be able to force a pass to fit. I don't think he's going to take the risk of coming down himself to pass Marc Marquez.
He will be, as Marc Marquez has pointed out.
It's Dobby, but he's certainly not going to assist Marquez, give him any favours.
I don't think anything abnormal will happen. I think Rossi will beat the people he can beat.
Exactly. But he ain't going to do any favours towards Marc Marquez.
Don't see him doing any favours towards Ducati either. But I would say the purity of the two men going for the title in that sort of dice, at that sort of level, in those conditions, for me, Keith, is...
Each of their favourites, so let's throw it open at BT Sport MotoGP.
Hey, close run thing.
What do you reckon? Japan?
With an Italian rider on it.
Well, if you're Italian, that might come up on the radar.
I think that might.
I'll tell you what, I'll be absolute. In fact, I'll put a tenner on it now. I'll buy the first round of drinks tonight if it's not Phillip Island. You don't have to if it's not Japan. Miller. He's right in there. Jack Miller. Tell you what, back from a broken leg. It seems like broken legs are de rigueur.
Seems like they make you go fast.
That's what I'm saying. It's Valentino Rossi back after 22 days, fifth in out. The amount of paint swaps.
Oh.
There's been a lot of people down the paint shop in the last week or two to replenish the stocks of fairings and seat units and anything else that juts out on a racing Grand Prix bike. So circuit tarmac. Oh, short shifted. Oh.
Rins is the quickest Suzuki.
Yeah, I think Rins is your man in this qualifying one when it's coming up in a moment. All live here on BT Sport. Don't go away. Don't take your eyes off TV. I think on it, Suzuki removed the moustache at Phillip Island as well, which...
yeah, they back-to-back, didn't they, on Friday?
It's only really Jorge running Machero.
Rins is quickest.
Wow.
0.7. So that is some improvement, isn't it? Best part of 3 seconds.
Nearly 4 compared with the fastest man in FP1.
Yeah.
So and he ran the hard in FP3 quite a lot as well. So Jorge Lorenzo, 0.126 off top time with that soft tyre in the rear. Went away from him in
Australia for the race. You can both be right, gentlemen. Your career at the diplomatic corps is assured.
Better sit between us every weekend.
Yeah, thank you, Simon.
Indeed, thanks, Simon. 3 at the moment, Marquez's time, 2.442 now, so it goes even quicker. Still, it is Rossi, the fastest man on a MotoGP bike round here this weekend on a 159.9, the only man that's been in the 159s.
But I think the faith of those of us who saw something special in him.
A friend of mine said we should go through a catalogue of each rider's injuries during the course of the year. He said he doesn't think people actually understand how to retire in that.
You think, well, he's got a smooth style, that boy, hasn't he? Good shot.
He's become a proper MotoGP rider, hasn't he?
Very quickly, in my view, given the lack of testing.
Science in Jules.
Yeah, Carl Fogarty was built for it.
Hello, Marquez, 4,000th quicker.
So Frankie.
Now, hang on a minute. That's a hard front and a medium. He's going through everything.
He's trying everything.
In the gambit, isn't he?
Yeah. He is running through.
It'll work.
You need to know every tyre, don't you?
You really do. You
have your options.
Very interesting from a strategy point of view as Cal Crutchlow gets out the way of this man, Viñales, who is... Let's wait and see what he's got for race day. He's going to have to race from a very difficult grid position in what is going to be a very hard race, but running for the first time on Michelin tyres and with carbon brakes.
What? How come? He said, well, my granny's Indonesian.
Dobby over the line.
Viñales only went...
Cal's running the hard front now as well, giving it a go. Oh, very interesting. Oh, it takes a lot of inside curve there, right on the very apex of that. Cal Crutchlow blast towards the line. Wonder if he's like that. Of course he is.
That's why he chose it.
Size, yeah. Marc Marquez.
I'm looking down. You know, Carol Abraham again.